Hola, bonjour, and hello, everybody. You are listening to Worldwide Tea. It is the one and only podcast where every single week we recap every single episode that's going on of all the international seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race. And you know what? Sometimes when you're promoting a season, maybe you're just going to film a little video on your iPhone and just post it online and just kind of hope that this clip of maybe queens from Drag Race Down Under versus the World will get some traction there. But you know, we got a lot of things coming our way. Apparently, Drag Race Canada is coming up on the docket soon,
Hmm.
which you know because you heard our Meet the Queens tours it. But most critically, Greg, I just found out that Brad Goreski apparently is not going to be on the rotating panel of judges this time out.
Yes, and I feel like we may have hinted at this in other podcasts over
Hmm.
the past year. Um, and he did make a comment about it. It had been rumored and then confirmed months ago when they shot this that Carson Kressley showed up in Canada and filmed a number of episodes. It's not one. I think he's there for at least maybe three, maybe four, as sort of in the Brad role. But
Hmm.
also oh my God, I'm forgetting her. Saren Fox. Did I get it correct?
Yep.
She's been a guest judge at times over the past couple seasons. She will also be part of the mix, and of course, the one, the only Tracy Melchior
Hmm.
is back. She'll be there every week. But I
Hmm.
like Tracy. Tracy's fine. But no, but Brad did a Insta post because in the announcement of Canada being renewed for season eight, I think we have season eight. They renewed for eight. They revealed that Brad would not be back for this season, and but they were very positive and kind about it. And it was weird. I think if you saw his Insta story, I think he sort of misworded what he meant to say. It sounded more negative than it was. From my understanding, the show was shooting in the middle of Oscar season. His number one client is Demi Moore. Demi had got it nominated. He had to be there with her. That is his gig. That is his day job. That's where he makes his money. And long term, he wants to be, um, Law Roach. He wants to be up at
Yeah.
that level where he's being hired by all the big stars to do this. And to be honest, the weird thing about Canada compared to some of the other franchises, and sorry to talk about this at the beginning of this UK podcast, but for people who probably, if you watch UK, you might watch Canada, is they shoot the longest for 8 or 10 episodes over compared to any other franchise. And the Queens love it because they get all these days off. It's not like, every day and then like after 10 days they get a day off or 7 days. It's like, nope, you shoot 5 days, you get the weekend. And then in the middle of
Right.
the week, you might not shoot this day. So it was taking up a lot of, I think, of his time. And I think he just was basically like, guys, this is just, if this was in the summer, who knows? Maybe it was in the summer or another time of year.
Right.
But once again, he's going to be booked and busy. And I think he just sort of realized, like, hey, I love this. This is great. Maybe, but, maybe he'll come back down the road. But I would not
Right.
expect him on season eight either. And by the way, we already have the showrunner who has um, claimed that this is the best season they've ever done. And part of me thinks that Carson could be a part of that. I think Carson is good. I think Carson is a good, fair judge. And I think he will have a very sassy back and forth with Miss Brooklyn Heights. What do you think?
I think it's great. Obviously, I'm still going to be team put Seren Fox on the panel permanently if you can afford her because
Oh,
she's still my favorite of any of the guest judges there. But listen, sometimes you're going to have run into these things. Maybe you're going to be like a Drag Race France All Stars and sell out your entire run of shows and have the most spectacular footage that we've been seeing. Greg's been sending and posting and reposting of like a franchise that knows how to do it. So we're hoping for you, Canada. We're pulling for you, Canada. We need this for you, Canada.
but speaking of the UK, Evan, and I will say this, you have 3 seconds. Spoiler in a celebrity UK traders spoiler in 3 seconds. One, two, three. Evan, do you not know who won UK Celebrity Traders the first season?
No.
Alan Carr. Alan won, and he was a traitor. He made it all the way to the end and convinced them he wasn't. He couldn't believe it. He won. It was for charity. I think this one's for charity. I don't think they actually get it.
Sure.
But you
Yeah.
can watch the video online. He's super emotional. By the way, this only helps Drag Race UK because
Right.
he's the mainstay. And he's now getting in business with the BBC, which we had mentioned before because this run had did. And also, Celebrity UK Traders was watched by 11 million people in the UK. And for comparison, remember, that's a country that's less than half of the United States. It's like 20, 25 million people watching it in the US. So huge for him, super happy for him. And no doubt he will be trying to get Michelle Visage or Graham Norton to also get on the show as well.
I mean, I'd be there. I'd watch
Yeah.
that. But the other thing that we have to do is that great television like that comes every once in a while, and sometimes we're stuck watching things like UK season 7. And Craig, let me tell you before we dive into it, the thing that's always true about these things, and thank you so much for pointing that out. It's so good. Is that in this House of Love we believe that all drag is valid and no queen ever deserves online hate. And as American entertainment journalists, we may not get every cultural reference or Snatch Game impression, and most critically, there are some truly great queens who aren't good at Drag Race, and we love them all the same. But Greg, was Alan Carr the guest judge this episode? No, it was. I think it was.
No, it was Graham.
It was Graham. It was Graham. So we can't celebrate in tandem with them. But
Yeah.
we are on season 7, episode 7. And we start out with the queens coming back into the workroom. And most critically, the people are very sad about Sally TM is going. Some of my
I,
buddies here in the real world are they're like, that was my number one pick to go to take it all the way. So they're a little not feeling the joy over there. But yeah.
all I know, Evan, is there was a close-up on Katrin's face in the when they came out, and her makeup was horrifying. Like it was just scary. I was just, and again, no hate to all these queens. This is a place of love. We care for all of them. But my gosh, like her mug, I do not understand why they're never criticizing it. It is
It's
not
bad.
good.
It's bad. Yeah.
Anyway,
You know what else is bad? Celexa Addiction talking about how some of the looks on the runway and how she feels that Bonnie and Clyde very specifically was looking down on her, thinking that she was bad the entire time last week. She really, really, really wants to highlight it because that's how she feels, and there's some stressed opinions about it. And this is actually a thing that carries on into the workroom the following day. But
mm,
before we jump into that, Greg, I wanted to know if you had any thoughts about your favorite drag queen of all time's feelings about the situation.
I gotta be honest. So here's the thing. There two things can be true. One, Skrillex can be wrong for
Yes.
making this a continuing like talking point, except it gets her on, gets her spotlight, gets her like a lot of screen time. But she can also just sort of like move past it. And
Right.
also, Bonnie's opinion was bullshit and shows that she doesn't have taste in terms of fashion, which, by the way, will come up again this episode. So I feel like there two things can be true, and
Mm-hmm.
it felt like some slightly manufactured drama that made the story producers very happy. And I actually want to talk about this for this episode. This was one of the first episodes in a long time where I thought it was a horror. It was so apparent that queens were being told, "Hey, will you have a conversation and do this? Hey, will you have something and do this?" It was a little jarring to me, and part of the reason is because the only queen who doesn't play that game or can sort of like step above it in terms of these fake scenes is Page 3. She's the only one who can like seem natural and not like she's acting. The rest of them, even Elle and Bones and all of them, they just get into this like, oh wait, the producer wants me to we it's almost robotic. They'll be like, so Paige, blah blah blah. And you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, no other franchise is this way. Like the US has never even been this bad. Like am I missing something or did you catch this episode as well?
I caught this too because there's the other thing I just want to highlight there. And guys, look, we're going to talk about the episode, the mini
Yeah.
challenge, the Snatch game at all, and all that stuff. But I will just say that the storylines this season are just so freaking bad.
Yeah.
And I just truly mean that. This whole Page Bone slash Chai Tea rivalry thing never really panned out. Ultimately, this Katrin Terrace romance is literally made no progress this episode. It was boring outside of someone mentioning it when they just come sat down, like, "Oh, do you guys have your eyes on each other instead of the prize?" Like just this boring, dumb crap. Like there's just not a lot to play with any of the queens here, and it's just kind of like. like we're truly shrugging our way to the finale, not limping. Listen, none of you watched
No.
Drag Race Brazil season two. We did, so we know we've been there. We've been through the Thailand season threes of it all. We know what bad Drag Race looks like. But like this is just kind of like I wish I had so much more enthusiasm, but I don't have even Lavoie to latch on to. I don't even have that. I don't even have just a queen that I just love instantly, a Marmalade or a Cheddar Gorgeous or
Mm.
anyone else that I'm just like latched onto. Like this is just kind of a all right. Here's who we got. Although some of those fates did change a little bit this episode, I will say.
You know what? I think in hindsight, they did have that queen, and they sort of fucked it up this week. But let's talk about the mini challenge because Rue comes in and it's the library is open, Evan. It is the reading challenge, and oh boy. So
This is
this may
bad,
have
Greg.
this was
This is
bad.
bad. Yeah.
This was so bad that I don't even think Tyrus got a line out. I don't think she got the joke. I think she said one line and they like cut away.
Yeah.
Um,
Some of the
where
jokes were indecipherable, and maybe it's because we're
yeah.
Yankees, but like some of the jokes are just like
Well,
punchline? Where? Like I couldn't even get contextually where the clue was. Yeah.
no, the queens are reacting also like, what on earth are you talking about? Like it started not great and got worse.
I
Was
actually,
there
yeah, it started great because Bones actually had
yes.
reads. Like she's actually a funny bitch. Who knew? Yeah,
Which by the way, a new talent for Bones, I'm all for it. Like anything that makes her I like Bones very much, by the way. Please, anyone listening, like
yeah.
I'm a Bones fan. But she has seemed very like narrow in her drag, and
Hmm.
anything that like takes her out of that box, like being a catty, fun, like comedy queen in some way, even if someone wrote all of these for her, like I'm all for.
Yeah.
But I thought she was pretty good. I oh. I wrote catch. Why is Katrin Feelings here? I literally wrote, "What is happening with her reads?"
What does
She's
she do
supposed to.
successfully? Yeah.
She's supposed to be a comedy queen, right? Am I
Yeah,
crazy?
allegedly.
And
Allegedly.
then I don't even want to get. Yeah, we'll find out in the
Yeah.
Snatch game
The
too,
be
because
I'll
like,
write down the best line which I had, which came from Bones, which was Celexa. I didn't write any leads for Celexa because I didn't expect you to still be here.
yeah,
Short, punchy, does what it needs to
yes.
do. Thank you. She got three cuts, so you knew in the edit that it was going to win, but I was just still pleasantly surprised. I'm like, Bones technically shouldn't be the winner of this, but you know what? She absolutely smashed it compared to everyone else, because God. Anyway,
And by the way, even the Jinx Monsoon that they think of this season, El Vosk, she barely got through it. Like
yeah,
she had a bomb line and then a very generic like page three went from twink to twat. Like, oh
yeah.
wow, groundbreaking. Um, anyway, we all knew Bones was gonna win before it even got halfway through.
Yep. Yes, we did.
But
Congratulations.
Evan, this week's challenge, we know it's Snatch Game. The Queens know it's
Uh-huh.
Snatch Game, but it's a twist. And we were afraid it might be some UK version of Snatch Game of Love, which still gives me PTSD to this day,
Yes.
uh, from US All Stars. But it's not. It's called Snatch Me Out. And
Hmm.
it's a game show, which I still don't know how to describe. How would you describe this setup for Snatch Game this week?
A bunch of celebrities that come up are on a single column together, almost weakest link style. They get to answer some questions, and after three rounds, the love interest, gets to knock out a couple lights until there's only one remaining, and that's the person that they are picking for the week. So it's kind of like you score points, kinda. It's kind of an interesting thing, but it's basically Snatch Game. That's kind of what it is. By the way, just quick side note. Rue must be on a coffee enema or something because she is zooted today. She is
Good.
absolutely zooted. The queens are going around talking about some of the characters they're picking, and she's just going, Cher, except it's a chair, so it's chair. Ah! Oh my God, she is dying. This
Yeah.
is Utica smoking weed all over again. This is insane. This is Candy Muse talking about yeses and no. Like it is a different level of just insane. And throughout the whole episode, she's just on a cloud. I want what she's having. Truth be told, coffee enema. I'm not sure if you
But
observed that too, Greg.
I did. The other thing I will say though is this wasn't, and this has happened in the past on other Rue hosted seasons. This is definitely in a snatch game where Rue makes some suggestions that and asks queens to go in a direction that not only don't favor the queens, makes for a bad snatch game.
Yeah.
and Rue does not end up laughing at what they end up doing. And I sort of felt bad for a couple of the queens in that way.
Hmm.
If we quickly want to go through them
Let's do
describing
it.
what they're doing, their characters, Tayrus is doing Matt Lucas's Jamaican racist character that was on his show Little, I think it was called Little Britain,
A little
and
bit. Yep.
it's well known. I don't even know if Matt's ever apologized for essentially doing blackface. This was like in the tens, like this was not like 50 years ago. Um,
Worldwideteapod.bsky at gmail.com or comment below if you're watching on
but
YouTube. If
but
you
Taylor says she wants to own it. Like she
Yeah,
wants
which
to
is
take
actually
it
really,
back.
really cool to like
Yeah.
embrace and do that. So like respect to her. She and for the record, and like and it kind of came through with the other week, she is a much smarter queen than I think that
Yeah.
the edit was leading on to. I really like her a lot. I don't think her drag is at the level that we've accustomed to on Drag Race UK at this point, but like she is still a very I really like her a lot. Yeah.
I like the sugarcane of the UK. She's great. Um, Paige wanted to do Charlotte Tilbury, who I think is a social media, I think is like a reality star. I could be
Influencer
wrong.
type. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But her second choice was doing Alexa, and Rue immediately wants her to be this like incarnation of Alexa because she thinks it would be funny. I immediately think, nope, that's terrible. Like,
Hmm.
why? No, this will not work. This is a mistake. No one can make this funny. It's not, it's too specific, and it's not emotional enough. You have to have some emotion in a Snatch Game character. What did you think when she said she was going to do Alexa?
I thought there's actually a lot of potential possibility with it there. And
Okay.
again, it's kind of like what you saw with some of these queens. Like some of it started out all right, but then it just kind of the like it just like they got trapped or got on their own heads. Being able to improv and pivot with strong character choices isn't everyone's suit. So it really starts with the character that you pick. But yeah, it was rough.
Bones had a choice between doing a Sissy Snape version of Alan Rickman, or doing Liam Gallagher, the always charming and hilarious member of Oasis, the band Oasis, which no one under 35 on this listening to this podcast know who they are. But they sold out arenas and stadiums all across the world this past year. Um,
I saw them.
I
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did. You just
Yeah.
posted it. I immediately thought, oh no, stay with the Sissy Snake. What are you doing with doing Liam Gallagher? Like that's never gonna work. I My guess is Rue thought it it was a more British reference and that she should do it just for the sake of the show, and that's why she pushed it.
Because
Um,
Alan Rickman is specifically not a British reference.
or she's worried or it's someone was in her earpiece saying, "We don't want to get sued by J.K. Rowling.
Rowling.
Like, please
Yeah.
don't, Rowling.
Even
Like,
though we
please
already
don't
had
do it."
Harry Pothead on Drag Race España, so who knows? Who,
Yeah,
by the
but
way, turns into Liza Minnelli. Spoiler alert.
I don't. But by the way, I don't think they think she's. I don't think they think J.K. is watching Drag Race España. But I think they
Yeah.
probably thought we don't want something on social media and
Yeah.
her making it a whole big blow up
Yeah. Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then Bonnie immediately, like when she says she's going to do Cher as chair, and Rue is already laughing. It's over. They don't even
Yep.
need to
It's
do.
game over.
They don't even
Yeah.
need to
It's a
do the
formality at this point. Yeah.
that. And I was like, okay, this could be super fun. Katrin Feelings is doing Bonnie Tyler, um, the singer, Total Eclipse of the Heart, uh, and
And other songs.
other songs, but mostly known for that. And she's going to do focus on this ad that Bonnie did for Jaffa cakes, and Rue doesn't know what Jaffa cakes are, which is, hey, most of us don't. I do. Rue must not watch the British Baking Show because I feel like it's been brought up there many times. And I'm like, okay, this could be okay. What did you think of the idea of doing Bonnie Tyler? No, boring.
I listen. You could take again. It's Snatch Game. You could take any character and make them interesting if you're good. Oh my God, I'm just so exhausted. I'm so exhausted with goddamn Catherine feelings at this point. I'm so tired.
I
Lawrence Chaney too. She is not. No matter how many times you try and make that happen, production. I'm so sorry.
You know what's frustrating about her is like she goes and sits in the confessional and she has this like it
Air.
comes across this air of like arrogance that like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
so much better than you, and has done nothing to demonstrate that through the
At all.
entire
At
season
fucking all. Not
at
in the
all.
runway. Not. Oh
Nope.
my God. Anyway. Yeah.
Not in some of the comedy shows either. Anyway, Skrillex, so I don't really know the first character she was potentially going to play called Jemai. But she ends up doing Zoe Wanamaker, who's a 4,000-year-old woman, I think a villain character on
Doctor
Doctor
Who.
Who. I
Hmm.
know Russell T Davies was very excited after he saw the episode that she did this. Um, and I'm like, okay, this could be interesting. Like, and the best part about it is when we get it, it's a very fun visual in some ways.
Yeah.
And then Elle is going to do not just JoJo Siwa, and we've had
Hmm.
some bad JoJo Siwas. She's doing Bad Girl, the current version of JoJo Siwa. Um, and this was, by the way, before JoJo had come out as straight. Oh, I'm sorry, or bi,
Hmm.
or
Oh, whoops. Sure.
whatever her era is now. Um, and I have to say, I've been very critical of Elle, but I thought it was smart, and it ended up being pretty good. But anyway, Evan, the Snatch game begins, and who is our guest? I don't even know what he is. He's the
Just a
bachelor.
presenter?
He's the
Yeah.
pres No, but he's the bachelor of this, like trying to go on a date with all these.
Jordan North. Yeah.
Yes. I did some research on Jordan North.
Uh-huh.
So Jordan North is a very popular radio DJ. This is also a sign they're running out of UK celebrities who want to be on RuPaul's Drag Race UK. But he is very cagey about his sexuality. He always refers to things in a non-gender way
Okay.
and never says that he's one thing or the other. And I thought it was super interesting that he would then do Drag Race.
Hmm.
So interesting, to say the
Yeah.
least. I thought he was gay until I looked all this up. But hey, what do I know? Um, what did you think of this version of Snatch Game, and was it better or worse than you thought it would be?
I do think it was better than I thought it was going to be. I do think that, having the format, it was a nice bit of a change of pace a little bit, I guess, kind of mix it up. Overall, though, it was interesting, though, because just to get into some highlights real quick,
Yep.
pretty just for me, obviously Bones bombed so bad as Liam Gallagher, like it was just very sad to experience and unfortunately see.
And
Uh,
wait, and
but
also it was uncomfortable. Like
Oh
it got,
God, it
yeah.
really was. It was so hard to watch. And like I was rooting for him the whole time, and it's just like but like from the first joke, it's like it's done. There's no way you can recover from this. And I felt bad. Got nailed the look though, I'll say that. Overall, in terms of for me highlights, Bonnie, I hated this fucking makeup on her. I know she's a chair, I don't care, but she had all her puns ready to go for day. She had ruined the palm of her hand. I think definitely for me, for husband especially, that was the thing that made him laugh the most. Like it's base, it's very stupid, it's very overt, but it is funny. Like it is well thought out. I begrudgingly accept her win in this instance. I'll say, uh, Terrace was good. Like I like she had a couple fumbled things over there, but like again, reclaiming this character was great. I wish she had fused it with even more comedic energy. She still seemed a little bit struggling on a couple parts, but overall,
Hmm.
I liked. Uh, Celexa as Zoe Wanamaker slash Lady Cassandra on there. She had a lot more fun with some of her lines. She can wobble at a couple points, but like she did pretty good. Like she's outing herself as a big stupid nerd, and I love my big stupid nerds, having been one myself for several years. So I will always defend this character, or at least defend this action. Uh, Go ahead.
No, no. Please keep going.
He's just absorbing it all.
I'm
Uh,
absorbing it up.
For Elle as JoJo Siwa, here's the problem. As we know from Canada's Drag Race Season 1, the definitive JoJo Siwa was done by Lemon, eventual Canada versus the World, and she nailed it out of the park. This was good. I will say Elle did a good job. It is a very fun character too. I think it could get out of hand, but like I needed a little bit more of the bad girl energy because she was just doing JoJo Siwa outside of because now I'm a bad girl. Like those kinds of things help out, but like it was very good. It was very safe, honestly. I thought on there, but it worked for what it was. Uh, Paige, how do you feel about Paige as Alexa? Greg, let's dive into it.
Well, you know what? I will. I'll start my thoughts on all of them by saying I felt that Paige was not god awful. I just
Mm-hmm.
felt like Paige had an off day,
Mm-hmm.
and that she probably had a lot of stuff ready to go. And even there's a moment with her and Terrace that they like improv off each other, and that's probably the best moment both of them had. And because of the setup of this, the way they did the show this time, there isn't a lot of improv between the other queens. Like they're not really
Nope.
talking to each other. They're just talking to Jordan, which maybe the producers thought, hey, this will be funnier. And maybe in another context it might be. Maybe they thought
Hmm.
by having the queens not have to like deal with all the drama around him, it would make things more about the impersonation, which I get. I didn't think Paige was god awful as bad as Liam, but I didn't
Hmm.
think anyone else. I mean, if they had edited it so that Skrillex was in the bottom, I could have seen that. Like, I didn't
Hmm.
think she was funny. I thought it was gross, and she didn't like sort of win me over. I thought Bonnie was great for what it was, but it was also,
Hmm.
it felt very predictable and very calculated. And I
Yeah.
know that's hard to say because someone will watch the show and go like, yeah, but she came up with the idea of Chair as a Cher, like that's so like imaginative. And I'm like, I don't think if you're a we were to bring on our friends who are improv artists, they would not think that this was as groundbreaking as it was.
Correct.
Um, I did think Elle's JoJo was good. I really
Hmm.
liked it, and I am not
Yeah.
a fan of Elle at all, but she made me laugh. And there
Hmm.
was just enough, it was a little bit of how she smiled when she knew how to get the audience in on the joke because how she did JoJo was like, I know what I'm doing, which
Hmm.
most impersonations don't
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
letting you in on like, this girl's crazy and I'm gonna do it. It's a smart way to
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
perform.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got that. I thought I thought Tayrus was the most edgy because she starts off by ripping Matt Lucas like in her like line like in her
Yeah.
bit, which I was like, all right, you go.
Let's
I think
go.
that
Let's do
saved
it.
her from ever being low because she
I
was
agree. So
um
overt about it, and obviously the guest judge also very felt a connection with it too. Like just
yes.
call it out for what it is and reclaim it. I thought it was a great move. Yeah.
I didn't think that Katrin's Bonnie was funny to me,
I
but I
didn't laugh
got
once,
that she
Greg. I
I
didn't
didn't
laugh
either,
once.
but I understood why Rue was laughing, and I could
Yeah.
understand why other people laughing would laugh. And also, if I'm in the UK and she does that Jaffa joke, and they've seen that commercial, like that's the equivalent, if you know this reference to the US, of the Lauren Hutton coffee commercials. If you do you know what I'm talking? Or Lauren
I
Bacall, I'm
do
sorry,
not, but
Lauren
okay,
Bacall.
go for it. Yeah.
So Lauren Bacall, it became this thing about 10 years ago where people on YouTube kept putting all these Lauren Bacall commercials on where she would, come on the Broadway stage and had her decaf coffee. It was a whole thing. And I can see where you knew this reference of what Bonnie had done and you grew
Hmm.
up in the UK seeing this on TV, it would be funny to you. But to maybe us, it's like, this feels silly or stupid or whatever.
Hmm.
The other two things I noticed that you may not have realized. Yes! You right. For those listening, I was just about
Jump
to
scare.
say jump
Jump
scare,
scare.
jump scare. For those listening, Evan has has pulled up a photo of global all stars, Miss Congeniality
Miss
herself,
Congeniality. The thing
Kitty
everyone wanted,
Scott
more
Claus.
Kitty Scott Claus on our goddamn
And
television.
I literally wrote, well, she's not banned from Drag Race UK.
Yeah.
Um, but it was a skinny kitty claus, and there was really no reason for her to be there, but she was there.
Oh, it was so bad. Why? God.
The other
As if I didn't need another season, a reason the season was on the downfall. My God. Anyway, yes.
the other that blew my mind was Jordan at one point touched Rue. Like
Yes.
he went and touched her, and I did a jump scare because I was like, oh no, you don't touch Rue. Like she touches
Hmm.
you, and I was like, you have crossed the line. I thought he might actually get kicked off the show at that point. And considering he didn't show up as the actual guest judge, maybe he did. But did you have any other thoughts on this monumental snatch game, which wasn't a disaster? It was not a
It was not. It
disaster.
was not. But if Kitty Scott Claus is gonna show up now, I'm still, that's gonna weigh heavily on my conscience. But yes, the next day we go into the workroom, and out pretty much out the gate, Bones knows what's up. Bones starts
Oh.
breaking down completely. She just completely knows that she is a character of confidence, and that's kind of like what she's known for, and she just completely just loses it. Like she's just completely breaks down rather quickly. You have thoughts on this, I can tell.
Well, first of all, Do you remember, oh, just 6 episodes ago, when the producers were trying to convince us that Bones and Paige weren't friends
Yeah.
and that they were like competitors and enemies? But there they are at the mirror together, talking like the friends
Mhm.
they are, who work together every week.
Indeed.
Anyway,
6 days a week, even,
6 days
maybe,
a week,
potentially.
maybe.
Yeah.
Um, but I am not a conspiratorial person. I believe in Bones. I believe she was emotional.
Genuine.
I
Yeah.
I didn't actually think this was that genuine. I thought this felt a little forced, maybe producer manipulated. I don't know, but
Hmm.
it did not. It made me going. It's a little. I wasn't thrilled with it, and I didn't think it was necessary. And then eventually, when they get on the runway, we'll get to that. She has another moment where it's coming close to Nyx from Drag Race España, trying to be a little manipulative with the judges. I don't think Bones was as intentional with it, but
Right.
this does feel like if you compare her to Paige, who clearly thinks she may also be in the bottom, Paige is like, whatever. Like, we'll go through. And by the way,
Hmm.
everyone's different. Everyone has different reactions, everything. But this felt strange to me. I don't know.
Hmm.
Am I going down the wrong road?
No, I mean, it was Bones' turns to have a moment, but it's really more than anything, it did what it could to try and reinforce the whole idea that this was still going to be a Page Bones narrative that they wanted to push. Like that again, it's the only compelling narrative that we have at this point, and even then, it's barely that. So her having a little bit more time definitely made sense. I will say though, they did actually push a different narrative on top of that, which was the Celtic trio very
Yes.
much uniting and calling themselves they're going to be the next Beyonce, to which Taylor says, "I see three Michelles," which was notable. But this
And
this I
and he calls them the White Destiny's Child.
yes, yes. And so like, okay, that's cool. Like it to actually have, Ireland represent and to have that even there, even though we've already had an Irish winner, of course, in Blue Hydrangea. But like it was, maybe it's something, who knows? This is Heather's, this is Boogers, this is whatever.
Mm.
But we'll see. It still feels like a weak narrative, but we continue onward.
It also feels like a very late narrative to insert into a season when you're already on episode, what, is this seven? We're in 6 or 7.
Seven.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little late to bring it in now. The one other thing I can't believe I forgot this is that I think it was Paige who said in confessionals about Bones, "That's the person I'm friends with." And I think I screamed. I was like, yeah. Anyway, so it's time
That
for
should be our next merch idea. A shirt that says, "Did you know Page 3 and Bones were friends?" I think that should be what we push for.
yeah.
Anyways,
Um,
yeah, so we get onto the runway, Greg. Greg, what is our category?
well, first of all, I just
Oh,
want to say Rue's dress looks good, but it also looks familiar. I'm wondering if it's actually a US dress that she like brought back for this. It looks super familiar.
yeah.
And also for those wondering who Susan Wokoma is, if you don't watch Netflix movies, like I don't unless they're in theaters, because that's my job. She has starred twice on Alona Holmes. Is that how you say it? Alona Holmes, the
Oh, yeah,
Millie
yeah,
Bobby
yeah.
Brown franchise.
Yeah, yeah.
She is a supporting character in that. And anyway, the category is, oh boy, holiday ho ho ho. First up, Elvosk, and she's in this candy cane inspired. She says it's Victor and Rolf inspired, and I'm like, that is a stretch, girl. I thought it was messy. I did not love it at all. And but it was, yeah, I guess it was a different silhouette for her. What did you think of this holiday look?
So I have two things to say. Number one, she says, "And now I have what is the biggest candy cane you've ever seen." She says that in her narrative. Bitch, it's not. It's not. I've seen bigger candy canes. Don't even lie to me. Number one. Number two, during the critiques later on, I just love the way that you're able to just bring these looks together. Bring what together? A series of fabrics that are loosely assembled? I hated this
Mm-hmm.
stupid thing so effing much. This was also we didn't have the best runway last week in España,
No.
but my God, this is one of the worst runways we've had in UK, and I mean
This
that
is
truly.
this is not certainly this season.
Yeah.
Skrillex comes out and immediately before the judges even say it, I know I see her nipples are popping out. I don't know how she didn't realize that's what's happening. And by the way, it kept happening with
Yeah.
her breastplate and what her outfit. And my first reaction was, it feels like drag closet and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just so basic. And the thing is that she's already given us some like out of the box or like super
Yep.
crafty but good idea kind of things. This just felt meh, not even like glam or couture. It just felt very just basic. It was almost costumey. Like I did not like it. Yeah.
So Bonnie is coming out next, and in theory, Bonnie is her look is supposed to be like a wrapper, like a wrapping, golden wrapping on a package. Nope, this girl was drag closet. Like this was 100% drag closet, and it did not even fit her anymore. You could tell because the skirt wouldn't stay down over her
We got that golden
ass.
crotch. We got that golden
We got the
crotch. Yep.
we got a golden crotch, which by the way, any other judges on any other season would have criticized her for. And instead, eventually they're like, "You look fantastic and great." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I mean, her makeup looked great, her wig looked great. I thought this was boyish. Whatever. The cape, maybe the
This
cape was fun, but
This was one of the worst things I've seen. This is so bad. This is basic as she might as well just be wearing a corset and with a little cape on it. It is I mean, Bruce said I'd wear that. Well, yeah, because your designer's Zaldi. So are we surprised?
yeah.
Like it just was awful. Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan.
Up next was Tayrus, and I do have to say, I love that this was definitely Christmas. It was not Drag Closet. I mean, maybe
Mhm.
she's had it for previous holiday things she does, like in, previous years of drag. But it was blue and white. It was a different
Yeah.
color scheme, but it was still definitely Christmas. Um, and I didn't think it was groundbreaking, but I thought it sparkled. It genuinely sparkled, which is sometimes hard to do on that stage.
The whole thing is that like when it came to the prompt of holiday ho ho ho, like I guess I was trying to figure out like so you're just being sex whore then because every outfit had to be skimpy in its own way.
Yeah.
A couple people deviated from that, but for showgirl, I thought that was safe. This very well could have been drag closet over here. It was fine. It's solid. I'm literally forgetting about it as I'm describing it though.
Yes. Probably the best look of the week went to
The
page
best
three.
look of the fucking week. Jesus Christ.
She
Fuck.
did it. She did a nutcracker in a pleather leather. I don't know if
Mm,
or sorry, latex probably more look.
yeah.
Um, I loved it. I will say it was probably dry closet. But I don't care.
It
Uh,
worked. It
she did
fucking
it.
worked.
I will say she didn't need the naughty list prop, and I think if
Hmm.
she could do it all over again, she wouldn't have done the mustache because I
Yeah.
think that will come back to haunt her later on.
Hmm. Yeah.
But walking down the runway, it looked great. It looked sophisticated. It looked sexy. I was a fan. Uh, okay. Last but not least, and
Second
I
to last.
wrote, oh, second to last. Oh, Bones. So Bones is doing Mrs. Claus, and I'll give her this. She is mixing up her runway. She is not just doing like sexy, I'm showing skin stuff. I thought this was forgettable for her, and I didn't think it was high glamour or high fashion as she sang it was, but I didn't dislike it, and I thought it was fine. And she gives credit or maybe blames Dee Licious for
Uh-huh.
making the coat. What did you think of this Mrs. Claus look from Bones?
I actually thought it was really good. Like
Oh, okay.
for something for ho ho ho, this is a very different interpretation of ho 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 for sure. But with that said, I really dug it. I thought it had very nice ruffles. It was very clearly had intention behind the design. And it was a little bit more maybe a little bit more conservative than what we'd expect out of the category. But like it was such a different silhouette for her. It felt such a contrast to everything else on the runway. Like a lot of things worked in my favor for it. Where it's not the best look of the week. That's still page three. But overall, like I really liked it, Greg. I was a little bit surprised by this unexpected twist, but for me, it had the volume, it had that little bit of opulence to it. It felt drag, so I that's why I was drawn to it.
Up next was Katrin Feelings, and I wrote in all bold, all caps, sorry, I should say, OMG, what is happening? Her makeup is terrible.
So
She is
bad.
a nutcracker in a costume that she later says she loves. It is a costume. Like, this is not drag.
No.
And her makeup is so bad. And I I didn't even know what to say. I'm by the way, Keitron, I'm sure is a nice person. Literally, Tayrus has fallen in love with her. They're still dating, so there she has to be. There must be charm and something there. But on the show, as a drag queen, she is so not. giving it. I'm sort of stunned. What did you think of this?
It was so bad. It was so fucking bad, Greg. It was so fucking bad. And the biggest thing is that like it just drives me back to the point of like I feel like whenever they're doing casting, they're trying to fill these archetypes that they've already established over here. Because typically it's the thing where it's like they've tried to do another Lawrence Chaney over and over again. Again, every queen is their own unique special snowflake in this world over here. Between Pixie Polite, between some of the other like we just feels like these people are like trying to fill like, oh, we have this funny northerner kind of role that we want to try and
Mm-hmm.
fill, but it doesn't work out the same way. And I think part of it is the fact too that some of these queens might be funny but are garbage at drag. Lawrence Chaney had such a good eye for detail and design, and brought it to her runways every time. There was things that were so unexpected. You can't fill that role. What the show really works and what the show excels at is when it focuses on unique personalities. When you
Mm-hmm.
have your Davina De Campos, when you have even your Marmalades, when you even have like Hiram Thrax, like when they start focusing in on these queens with these unique identities, it feels good. But if you're casting them to play a part or fill a template or something else like that, it just loses its energy. And every time I see Katrin Feelings, and I think very accurately as described by Alan, if she comes out, she looks like the saw puppet. If she comes out on a tricycle, I'm leaving. I just it's just that's how I feel. It's how I feel at all times, truly.
And actually, I think we were wrong. It was Alan this week on the judging
Yes.
panel. It was
Yes,
not
yes, yes.
Graham.
Congratulations,
I
Alan.
was congratulations,
Congratulations.
Alan. I was
Yeah.
incorrect at the beginning of this podcast.
I totally forgot
Um,
about it too. Yeah.
but we got the critiques. And I will say this: it was a very Spanish panel judging sort of like response this week. They wanted to say something positive and negative about almost everyone except for Bonnie, which was rare. They don't always do this
Mm,
on UK. I thought they were trying to be nice. Um, and my I just had a couple of feedbacks. My takes were for Skrillex, Michelle was very kind, Alan was very kind. I think Michelle said she did a good job. But then Rue came in and said, "Nope, I'm going to criticize you. This didn't work." Like she was very blunt. Rue is not always like that.
mhm.
Um, I thought they again, Susan, our guest judge, is a woman of color and brought up how reclaiming the character was really smart and that she liked that and that could have gone wrong and she made it work. But Alan correctly was like, "Hey, it was one joke and then it was hard to be funny."
Yeah.
Um, I thought for Paige, Michelle was just honest, but she wasn't mean about it. She just said it wasn't funny. But Alan loves the look and said, Christmas didn't come early. I did. And I was like, this would have saved her in another episode or like another
100%.
season.
100%.
Um, and then, Bones is very emotional and Michelle is very kind about the runway, but like you, she likes the runway like you do.
Mhm.
And I guess I didn't. But then Root was sort of giving mixed messages. She told her to do Liam Gallagher, but then says on the runway, you should have done it as Brian Gallagher,
Yeah,
his
the
gay
gay
brother.
brother.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
but you never said that in the workroom. How would she have known? Like, I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't really sort of get that. And then my only,
I'll give credit to Bones though for being on top of
yeah.
the narrative. Like, why are you emotional? Like she I have a feeling Bones has more of a television show producer lens than anything else. Like, I think she
Mm.
sees how she's being portrayed even while during filming. So I think that she kind of plays into that a bit. She's a very smart girl, I think.
Um, I thought they were very positive and they had fun critiques for Elle, but they didn't go overboard. They didn't
Hmm.
like act as though like she could potentially win. And then I thought for Katrin, the judges loved her Bonnie more than me.
Yep.
Any other thoughts on the judges' critiques?
I mean, the fix is in for Body. What are we doing? Like, as I appreciate they're going through the formality, but we know what's what. We know what's good.
But so anyway, Evan, they go back to the workroom,
Yes, they
and
do.
there is a conversation that happens that is just sort of wild. Would you like to describe it, or would you like me?
So actually go ahead. Please go ahead.
No, are you sure? Because if you want to go into it, I don't mind if you do.
All while they're going around and discussing their feelings, Paige decides to say exactly what I'm thinking, which is I think all of the bottom girls had better outfits than the top girls. And here's the thing, I don't think it's opinion when she's factually correct about that. Yes, duh. And then
Plus,
the other queens start getting super saucy. Oh my God, go ahead.
randomly, those four queens are sitting on one couch, and
Yeah.
the other four are sitting on the other couch right next to them. And Bonnie just gets beyond offended. It was Bonnie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and oh no, or was it Elle? No, it was Elle. Elle
Yeah,
got
yeah.
upset because she thinks her look is like fashion. She thinks it's great. And Paige and the rest of them are like, what are you talking about? And then Elle's like, you're ripping my look. You're saying it's bad. She's like, that's not what I said. I just
To
said
her
that
credit,
our
yeah.
like the hilarious thing is like we have lost the adult in the room. The
Hmm.
adult in the room this whole season has been Paige. Paige has been energetic, she's been fun, and the producers have utterly fucked this up. And
Yes.
I don't know if it's because they didn't think Paige was giving them enough drama or what, but this is Paige literally being an adult saying, like, wait, we're just talking. I just thought our looks were better. And she's basically being ironic. She's saying it's ironic that we're probably in the bottom, but we have the better
The
looks.
best looks.
And
Yeah.
they liked the Snatch Game performances more and judged it more, which is what most judging is. They all know
Hmm.
this. So the runway's only matter of time. Anyway, I just was like, for Elle to go off on that, I was like,
Yeah.
yum,
And
baby.
Paige did a pretty bad job of defending herself. No, no, you're still fierce and fabulous. I'm just saying compare like she did a very like she
Oh,
if she's got to
I
do it,
thought
she
she did
should have
okay.
committed it all the way straight through personally, but like again, she was just saying the truth. She was saying the truth. She could have easily just been another like very funny fashiony but kind of funny like Sminty drop type person. She proved herself that she is so much more
Oh
already
yeah,
on her run. So that's why it's like I felt bad that during this moment this is what happens. But there's still more episode to go.
they do. They come back out to the workroom, and we find out that Terrace is safe. And by the way, she is relieved and super emotional. Like I don't know what made her think that she might be in the bottom, but she's very like having a moment. Bonnie is the winner. She has two badges. She might make it to the end, Evan.
Hmm.
Uh,
Just right with our friend
Elle
Elvosk. Yep.
Elvas. Elle is also safe, and Katrin Feelings as Bonnie Tyler is also safe. She can turn around now and walk to the back of the workroom.
Turn
That's a
around.
little
Yeah.
joke, music
There we
joke. So the bottom three somehow are Skrillex, Bones, and Paige, and Skrillex is safe, and we get the.
go. Sorry.
Wouldn't have,
We
wouldn't
get
have, wouldn't have been great if
Kitty's got claws. Jump scare.
if Kitty came out on stage. That would have been
Oh,
awesome.
anyway.
Anyway,
Tainted Cell.
so
No, Tainted Love by Soft
so
Cell.
so
Yes.
no, but even more than that, the producers couldn't have dreamed this up. They did not
Mm-mm.
have to manufacture that this
They did
much.
fucking not.
It's
Yeah.
it's Bones versus Page for the lip sync, and you can't even say it's producer shenanigans. They just
Hmm.
got lucky. It's Tainted Love by Soft Cell, and so here's the thing: I did not think it was a very good lip sync because they're both good performers. But we know
Hmm.
Bones can't dance. But my take on the lip sync was Bones' sexiness overtook the stage, and Paige should have done her split and had more energy way earlier. Like she
Yeah.
sort of held that to the end, thinking that would be the calling card. Also, I would have ripped off the mustache.
Yes.
You could not see. She was lip syncing it and she was
Because you couldn't see
emoting.
your
You
face.
couldn't see her face,
Exactly. Yeah.
and I thought that was a mistake. But I did watch it and go like, oh, okay. So if it's the right song, if it's not Charlie XCX,
Hmm.
like Bones can do, or it's not a high tempo Charlie XCX, Bones can dominate a lip sync. I didn't think she
Hmm.
dominated this, but I
No.
thought she won it through being sexy and sultry.
It was actually interesting because when we were watching it, husband thought that page three absolutely won it. And I was like, I saw
Oh,
Bones inhabiting the song pretty damn well. And I
yeah.
was really worried for Bones because, again, her last lip sync was weak as fuck. But, like, she just had the energy, she had the staging for it. And, like, I thought it was definitely the closest lip sync I think we've had so far this season, if I'm being real. So, like, I really thought
Yep.
it could have gone any direction. I honestly, because they're a better narrative, I thought it was going to be maybe a secret end of the season double save or something, but no.
No, that would have actually meant they also would have had to eliminate two queens in upcoming episodes. They run out of like episodes to do
You
that with
have
this many
queens to
queens.
pick from. That's all I'm saying.
That's all. Yeah, I mean that's true. Um, Anyway, they speaking of thinking that Paige might have won it, Rue reveals that Bones is safe and that Paige is going home. And the shot of Tayrus in the back, she is shocked. Like
Hmm.
she's turning to the other girls. I don't think a bunch of them thought that Bones had won. And also, I think they also probably had in their heads Bones had already been in the bottom before.
Right.
Why would she survive? And she was the worst in the challenge, but she stays. And these two enemies, these two queens who don't know each other, before she walks off stage, uh, Paige says to Bones, "Do it for the girls of Soho." And I thought that was
Hmm.
super classy. I have
Hmm.
to say, Page three, if you're watching this or you're listening, you are a total class act. How you
Hmm.
left the show, how you handled yourself, you were charming and funny. I am a fan forever and just natural for a queen that comes from the stage and the West End. She is natural and she doesn't force it. It never feels fake or manufactured. And she had one of the best exits off the stage in a long time. Do you remember what it was?
No, please remind me. Oh, yes,
No,
yes, yes,
but
yes. No, please do it, do it, do it.
well, I can't remember the exact line, but she basically is like saying how she.
I
Wait,
have
do you remember?
one sole thing to say. So the other day I was at the grocery store, right? And so I was trying to get some lists. I was trying to make it take, and then I was like going through. There was another person, and then she just walks off mid
She just
sentence. Like
walks off
she,
telling the story and
yeah,
just smart and memorable and makes roulette makes them all laugh and sucks all the drama, like any negative feelings out of the room. And I will say I am disappointed because she should have been in the final. I don't know if she would
100%.
have won, but I feel like production through the whole season made a choice where they were never going to have the two of them at the end. It was going to be one or the other, and they picked Bones. And I like Bones. Bones is cool, but I feel bad because I'm a big Tamara Thomas fan.
Hmm.
I was a horror fan and she's sort of in that mold a little bit, but she's her own queen, and she's better than both of them.
Hmm.
And again, I've said this for weeks. She was on a US season. Rue would have judged her differently. The producers would have judged her differently, and she would have made top four. I don't know. I can't think of a US season up in the past couple of years she wouldn't have been top four. Shit, she could have been the first UK. She's. I think she's more charismatic and better than Lady Camden. And I like Lady Camden.
Yeah.
But anyway, any other thoughts on page three?
Just I can't wait for her to do extremely well in the UK versus or a Down Under versus or a Global or any
Yeah.
other number of options. She you know I gotta be honest, if she did show up on Global All Stars, not to be that guy, Greg, I think she would do slightly better than I just wouldn't have.
You know why? Because she has
That's
a heart. She's a kind
she
person.
does. She actually does. Thank God. Anyways, Greg, we have to end the question that we do at the start of every episode, which is, who do you think is going to win Drag Race UK season 7?
I am not sure anymore.
Yeah.
Uh, I think
It
it
feels
could
very
be.
like Michael Maruli, Ginger Johnson. This is kind of who we
Hmm.
have left, kind of bit. Sorry to be that man, but like,
Uh, I still don't think it's going to be Bonnie. I don't think Bonnie has shown enough of an aesthetic in terms of her runways and her looks as a queen. I mean, you can criticize Ginger and Johnson, and I wasn't a fan, but Ginger has an aesthetic. Like
mhm,
she was a brand, like a brand, and I don't know if Bonnie is that interesting enough in that.
at all. I'm sorry, she's not. She
Yeah.
really is not. Yeah.
Elle feels too young. Elle feels just like maybe she can make it to the she will make it to the final. There's almost I don't know how she wouldn't. But I'm not getting like she feels like underbaked, like
Hmm.
not ready to win yet. Um, and then Bones, I don't know, when's the last time a queen was in the bottom twice who won the season? Like I can't. I
Uh,
needed to do research on it and I
Simone, I
Simone,
guess. Yeah,
but
like
never
that's
in
that.
in the
Yeah.
UK was Lawrence was never in the bottom twice. Vivian was never
Yeah,
in the bottom.
just once. Yeah, I was trying to
Yeah,
think. Yeah, it's Lavoie or Kyron definitely wasn't, but
no,
either
but
way, it's still a fascinating season. I don't see how they don't give it to Elvosk. I still think that's the way that they're gonna go, but we will
mm,
see how it plays out. But most important, what do you think? What do you, the listeners at home, think? let us know in the comments below on the YouTube video. And if it's not the YouTube video and it's the Spotify, let us know. Vote via star rating, because honestly, things like that and on the Apple Store and all that stuff really helps with visibility and discoverability of the show. But most importantly, make sure you keep following us. We are doing our Hispania coverage at the same time. And you know what? We're going to be back with a hot new episode next week because, Greg, it doesn't matter who I am. It doesn't matter what I do. I am who I am and I will never change. And if you watch Hispania, you know that's their sign off. But most critically, thank you as always, Greg. I always appreciate doing this with you. I will catch you next week, good sir. Good ship lollipop. All right, here we go. Bye. Thank you.